I have a very simple message to start my presentation, and I think this simple message applies to everybody in this room. Whether you're an individual or you are a company, whether you're a relatively junior person in the company you work with, a mid-management, executive, if you're a small startup company, if you're an SME or a huge multinational company, I think the message applies to all of you. The message is wake up. Wake up. Not necessarily for my presentation, I hope you stay awake, but I'm talking about wake up in your life, in your career, in your job, in your business. And if you are awake, stay awake. Don't fall asleep. And make sure, I would suggest, you don't even blink. Why? We live in a world of scarce resources. Everything is scarce. All resources are scarce, and every day they're becoming more and more scarce. There's only so much time, there's only so much money, there's only so many jobs, so many projects, so many opportunities. So scarce resources. And more every day, there's more and more people that want those same scarce resources. There's 7 billion people around the world. That 7 billion people all want the same things you want. Now, a lot of them don't have the same access as you have. You're part of the lucky 5–10% of the world's population. But make no mistake about it. Everyone wants the same things you want. And what is that? They want to provide for themselves, they want to provide for their families, they want to provide for their communities, for their companies. So we all have very similar goals and objectives to do better for ourselves, for the people around us, for our loved ones. And we all want those things where there's scarce resources. So what you have today, or what you want today, there's a lot of other people that want it, and they're going to come after it. They're going to come and take it away from you. Not because they're bad people. They're not evil. They're just your competitors. You are a competitor to them. So you need to wake up and stay awake. And I would suggest don't blink. Because there are people, your competitors, companies, individuals that want your job. Or the job you want, they want. The project you're striving for, they're striving for. The opportunities you want, they want as well. And we're all dealing with scarce resources. So wake up. And if you're awake, stay awake. And don't fall asleep. Sounds a little bit harsh, right? Not very. But let me give you a few examples and you tell me if I'm being harsh or not. Who knows the company BlackBerry? You've all heard of BlackBerry. I hope you do. I'm a proud Canadian. This is a Canadian company. These guys were the first to develop the smartphone. They were the first guys that said, you know what, we can do more with these handheld devices than just talk to each other. We can send emails. They developed that market. They were awake, revolutionary, disruptive. They developed the market. First smartphone. Who uses BlackBerry today? 3, 4 people in this audience. Make no mistake about it, it is a far greater technology even today than anything iPhone has, anything Samsung has. Governments use it because it's the most secure way of communication. Donald Trump tweets on a BlackBerry. Maybe that's not a good example. But nonetheless, these guys established the market. Guess what? They fell asleep. They became complacent. Who's heard of iPhone and Samsung? Who uses iPhone and Samsung? Let's actually ask, who doesn't use an iPhone or Samsung? Okay, thank you. These guys, iPhone is celebrating only its 10th anniversary this year. It sounds like we think it's been here forever. It's only 10 years. And iPhone took away everything from BlackBerry. They developed the market. They took it away from them, ripped it out of their hands. These guys said, okay, well, if we can email, surely we can do other things. We can text, we can have apps, we can share pictures, a better user experience, better device. That's what they did. BlackBerry didn't. They were complacent. They fell asleep. They missed the trend. They thought they could just rely on the fact that they got the better secure technology. But the consumer doesn't care about that as much. They much rather have the other features, obviously. So this is an example of a company that developed the market. They were alive. They were awake. But they fell asleep. And their competitor ripped it out of their hands. Another example. Who knows Yahoo? Who's heard of Yahoo? Everyone's heard Yahoo, right? They're still relevant a bit. They were the first people to develop the search engine. Maybe not the first to develop it, but they're certainly the first to package it for common usage. They were first. Who uses Yahoo today to do their online searches? Who's heard of these guys? Google. They do it better than Yahoo. They do it so much better that this company name is now a verb. I Google. Google it. I've heard it 3 or 4 times just today by other presenters. They've changed the lexicon of the English language. Instead of search, you Google. You tell someone, Google it, as opposed to search it. 10 years ago, if you were in a crowd and you said, I Google, probably no one would understand what you're talking about. Probably they would think you're weird. And likely they would call security and say, he wants to Google here. Please put him aside somewhere else. Right? Now try saying, I Yahoo. Same result, right? You'd probably be pulled aside, go Yahoo somewhere else. It's illegal in the UAE. But they did it better. And they took away the market that Yahoo developed to the point where not only is Yahoo a second-class citizen, it is in the verge of bankruptcy. It has been for years. And these guys, well, we know what these guys are. Yahoo was awake, but it fell asleep. It became complacent. It lost its competitive edge. Okay? So these are examples. Now, sometimes you might fall asleep, but you can wake up. People take naps. It's okay to take a nap. Actually, it's good to take a nap. But sometimes that nap is enough for you to never be able to recoup. That's why I'm saying don't even blink in this day and age, as harsh as that sounds.